Hello, this is the RPG Crawler, and welcome. Welcome back to Pillars of Eternity 2. I need to go down to the Gullet. And quite frankly, I need to adjust the various party that I have. But first, let's level characters up. Right, so I'm going to boost explosives a little bit, and I'm going to boost diplomacy. For my next wizard things, I've got, let's see, flame shield. Don't really need it. Confusion, yes. And then I think Arcane Reflection could be neat. Wall of Flame could also be neat. Ah, there's tentacles. Tentacles? Yes. Sounds good. Now, what else do I got? I got a boof Seraphim. Mechanics and Bluff. And you get Mind Lance is nice. There's that, which stuns people. That's cool. Increased focus. That'll help me start Cypher stuff immediately. Although I gotta admit, not a super big fan of the Cypher stuff so far. You will boost explosives and metaphysics, sure. And you too will also get, well, not confusion. You will get tentacles, and we'll get the wall of fire. All right, you get alchemy and history. And we will go with Circle Protection is nice. Got 2 buffs. 3 buffs. That one's automatic, I think. Let's get another buff. Shining Beacon. That's a debuff. That'll work. And finally, a dare. Athletics and Intimidate. We'll get the defense. And then lower their guard, I think. See, here's the thing. I wish that you could have 6 people in your group.
Yes.
What I need to do is I need to rest. I also need to switch the party. All right. Well, I also need to have everybody rest a bit. So, ship management is not what I need. I guess I should go, to Queensbirth. And rest, and then head back to the Gullet. And do all of those bounties I have, do any of them have a time limit? I think they might. That's the problem. I've been accepting quests left and right, but I don't necessarily know if there's like a specific time limit on any of them. I think it says when there is. Gonna let me up. I need to go to the inn and rest and maybe switch out my party. I think you can do that at the inn, right? Let's come on down here. All right. I'm seeing the date they got, but I don't think I'm seeing any time limits on them. Well, come along. All the way down to the Wild Mare where I can go ahead and take a rest. So, if I'm going to move some people around, oh, this lets me enchant it. Okay. No, I don't need any of that. Yeah, let's,
Now, what can I do for you? You see anything you like?
Yeah, let's see about, can we change the party around? Yes, we can. So if I need to take Tekehu,
the light will guide me.
We'll switch out this group. Much as I hate to drop Aloth, this is probably my best bet for the moment.
If you want for company, look no further.
So let's level up first. Alright, you have metaphysics and explosives and arcana and alchemy. Let's go with alchemy and metaphysics. And then you have... what do you have? You have Tanglefoot. And you have Nature's Mark. Those are debuffs. You have Woodskin, which is an armor buff. And you have the Moon's Light, which is a healing effect. Purge of Toxin, which is another healing... which is a curative effect. Nature's Balm, which is a healing effect. Moonwell is another healing effect. And then could try Conjure Blight to conjure things, yes. Alright, so next up is... you two can't level up. As you turn to Tekehu, a shadow passes over your vision. You feel a tug from somewhere deep within its soul. A faint ripple creases the air between you like a forest of ethereal kelp. Tekehu's soul is vibrant and energetic, almost too lively to occupy its mortal shell. There is a bright thread of energy that trails away from him. You instinctively follow it. You stand in a grand hall, underwater and cloaked in oppressive shadows. Pillars of coral and bone reach up to support a ceiling that must be hundreds of fathoms away. Chandeliers lit with bioluminescent globes dangle from long ropes, swaying in languid tentacular motions. At the farthest end of the hall sits Andra, as tall as a castle keep and leaning forward in her throne. She has adopted the head of an anglerfish and regards you with its globular stare. Her sickle-shaped jaw opens and closes in a rictus of inflicted emotions.
Without friction or challenge, as left the boy in need of guidance.
The voice of Andra pounds at your mind with relentless force.
He thinks himself frail, but my heart beats in his chest. He is stronger than either of you could know.
She claps her hands and the vision shatters, flooding the hall with a deluge of awareness as you return to your senses. Regarding you with a warm smile, Takehu at first seems oblivious to your momentary detachment, then his brow furrows with concern.
What say? You look a little blue about the gills.
Andra just reached out to me.
Gatti spoke to you.
Skeptical, Takehu cradles his chin and considers.
To leave her son guessing. This is my tricksin' mother through and through.
She seems to care about your well-being.
What mother doesn't?
Pelagina's feather ruffle as she lets out a faint sigh.
You must be special indeed for Ngati to speak with words. For her people, she lays out cryptic stepping stones hidden in omens. Akira, but send her my fondest wishes.
Okay, so let's be off.
I know exactly what you're thinking.
Maya folds her arms and clicks her tongue against the roof of her mouth. What's that?
You're asking yourself, how did I let the Royal Deadfire Company plant an informant in my crew?
She chuckles to herself, but there's a note of resignation to it. Jyoti's eyes gleam with dark
My
amusement.
superiors might expect me to report in from time to time, but don't read too much into it. You're not the only big thing happening around here. I'm in this for a lot of information, a little diplomacy, and plenty of target practice.
Alright, at least you're upfront about spying on me.
Better that you hear it from me than someone else, right?
Jyoti flickers her sickle back and forth, agitated.
The company isn't in the business of reassigning officers outside of the mission unless they've got a damn good reason. And you are a damn good reason. Take the compliment.
Alright. As long as you're keen on taking orders, I don't object to having you aboard.
Uncomplicated. Just the way I like it.
Pelagina nods, the corners of her mouth turning to a faint grin.
Oh, guess you ought to meet the bird. Ishi is smarter than he looks, but don't expect him to do any tricks.
She nods toward the colorful bird of prey hopping around your ankles.
Ishi, come.
Maya taps her arm with two fingers and clicks her tongue again. If she simply calls at the ground and investigates some bugs a few hops away, click your tongue like a Maya. Cocking his head, Ishiza turns to you with a mixture of curiosity and skepticism. Maya thumbs her chin, nodding.
Takes practice before he'll listen to you properly, but that's a good start. Before we get into deeper waters, I've got a question.
Maya clears her throat into her fist.
You've got a ship and a title. Being captain means more than just wearing a big hat. A lot of tough calls to be made.
Pelagina nods, a corner of her mouth turning to a faint grin. She didn't exactly choose his life, but I'm trying to make the best of
Life
it.
at sea. It does have a way of simplifying things down to the bare elements.
Maya looks like she's ready to say more, but stops
The
herself.
crew can be like family. They can also be like a nest of squalling infants. Let's say your galley cook was fixing to organize the rest of the crew into a mutiny. How would you handle it?
I'd get ahead of the problem and compromise with the
Sort
crew.
it out as equals. Interesting. Of course, the only right answer is the one that works in a given time and place. I just wanted to hear yours.
Awful specific question.
Stranger things have happened at sea. Believe me.
Jyoti lifts her chin in interest.
But enough about me. Glad to be aboard, Captain.
Alright, and then you don't want to talk at all, Pelagina. That's okay. What are your skills like, Pelagina? You have athletics, good. Diplomacy and intimidate, good. So you are a decent, skill-wise, you're a decent replacement for Adair. What kind of abilities do you have? You have Sworn Enemy, Way of the Side 5 Suns. You have the Flames of Devotion, which is normal. Okay, you got debuff, Lay on Hands, and Allies buff.
You were saying?
What do you got? You have 2 mechanics. You need better than 2 mechanics. We need to buff her mechanics. She has good stealth, sleight of hand, which I'm almost never going to use. And you have ranger stuff. You got a heal companion, which is okay. And then you have a pet. Takedown. What does your pet do? You have an arquebus and a sword. I should probably boost stuff. You got sharpshooter's garb. Do I have any magic arbalists or anything? No, I don't. Cloak of Deflection, which is not for you, for her. Cloak of Deflection. She's got a Greatsword and a Blunderbuss. Rakoa's Fingers are something I need to turn in. She's got Honor Guard Breastplate. That's 866 with a 35. That's 977 with a 35. Minus 5% damage taken. And improves as she loses health. I don't know that I need that. What she's got is better there. We will trade a fine sword for a sword. And I will trade an exceptional sword for a sword. Alright. We need a better arquebus for her, and we need a better greatsword for you. Alright.
Speak freely.
Oh, I should have rested. Yeah, let's go back and rest. Okay, let's rest.
What can I do for... Hey, fish boy. What I tell you last time? You're not allowed in here.
Kara, have we met?
Tekehu frowns, worrying one of his hairs.
Oh, have you forgotten our little altercation so soon?
He levels Tekehu with a steely glare and begins to count off the man's indiscretions on his fingers.
Last you were here, you got drunk as a hagfish in a barrel of mead.
Why does that not surprise me?
Kara, at least one of us is amused.
Tekehu furrows his brows. Shodi clicks her sickle back and forth, agitated.
Then, when I refused to serve you any longer, you stole a bottle of my finest wine from behind the bar.
Ah, classic.
If that was his finest, I say it was charity.
You drank it all, then clambered onto the stage, pushed the dancer off, and serenaded the crowd with a sloppy rendition of my Wahaki.
Clamber? These legs do not clamber.
Tekehu grits his teeth and points to his thighs.
Apologize.
Okay, well, I'm gonna say nothing.
When I shoved you out the door and told you not to come back, you tried to kiss me.
Yeah, I can understand. It's a bit over the top. Though he looks at him as he's about to protest, Tekehu thinks twice and holds his silence.
Frankly, I'm surprised someone hasn't killed you yet.
Gintel plants his hand on his hips and does his best to loom over the large Amala man, although the effect is less than impressive. I'll vouch for
I
him.
did have a few lingering questions about keeping Fishboy around. Now, not so much.
Jody nibbles on her lips to hide his spreading smile.
All right. But if he gets up to any more mischief, it's your purse on the line.
Yeah, all right, my dude.
Punish me appropriately if I misbehave.
I'll hold you to that, you slippery bastard.
All right, so let's go ahead
See anything
and...
you like? But
No, don't need to do that. We need to go ahead and rest. Private dance room. We'll go with backstage storage room for now. Okay. Well, now that we're through that, let's get to the gullet.
Let's go.
So much questing before I even leave this place. So I was supposed to be looking around in here. Well, there's Bia's home, the refuse pile. Nothing really fine in there. I should probably visit Anoi's home as well. Grab me some flint and tinder. Pop into Bia's home. Well, what do we got in here? Let's talk to Bia.
Taking Bataro not enough for you?
Not what we're here for. A woman thrashes a row of tunics and sarongs hanging from the rafters. Her pointed teeth are gritted in frustration, her lips set in a snarl. The clothes are spotless, yet she swings a handful of reeds again and again, grunting with each blow. Several children huddle together, whispering and looking on with red, tearful eyes.
Bataro is gone. Dead. What more do you want?
Am I interrupting something? Or wait and observe. The silence stretches on for several seconds until finally she looks at you. A fraction of her anger burns off.
Forgive me. I thought you were with the guards who took him.
I am not.
Visit here.
She pointedly looks at Tekahu.
Do the gods pay a visit to mock my misfortune? Or is sacred stare overcrowded?
Ah, forgive the intrusion. We were just leaving. That is, giving you space to grieve.
So many crowd into the Gullet, and you worry about space.
She laughs bitterly.
My village was not like this. Why does Queen Onikaza not send the foreigners away?
How did you know the man who was lowered into the old city? One of the children starts to say something, but Beha shoots him a sharp glare. She turns back to you, arms crossed, gripping the reed bundle tight.
Bataro is punished already, I say. Whatever offense he gave, do not hang it on our necks.
She begins swatting the laundry again, though with considerably less gusto. I'm not here to harm you.
We say the only thing that live in these depths are ghost eels. And fish eaten by ghost eels. Which are you?
She turns away from you, striking the strong harder and harder. Tekahu flinches at each blow, fascinated even as he shrinks back in discomfort.
They bring riches in their big ships.
The fabric pops and snaps beneath her fury. Sweat is flying, spattering the clean sarong.
What reaches the Gullet? Only crime and sickness, I say.
She pauses to take another couple swings at the sarong.
The Rawatayans promise marvels, strong walls, and plenty for all.
She moves on to the next tunic, thrashing it with an even greater fury.
Kira, still my back aches from building their fort, and still I live here. And Bataro said we would finally leave.
She breaks off, her shoulders heaving as she catches her breath.
I heard a Rawatayan captain took up at the tavern. Seduzo, they call her.
Okay.
They say she is a traitor, so I thought maybe she will take passengers.
Strange. They usually stay topside.
Huh.
Bataro went and found her in the tavern.
Her eyes go hard and dark.
Next I see him, the guards are dragging him to the cage.
She bares her teeth at the memory. Maybe I could talk to Seduzo? She looks at you with the same critical eye she's been giving her laundry, wringing and tugging at reeds.
Everyone knows the Rawatayans are made of brass. They listen only to their commanders. But still, maybe it goes different for you.
She looks around, taking in the hanging clothes, the huddled children, and the warped and splintering walls of the shack around them.
Bataro took some coin. Everything he scraped together working on the docks. And he went to bargain with the captain. I would offer it to you, but it is probably in the old city with Bataro. Or in someone else's pocket.
How many of you need passage to Ratoi?
6. 3 children, 2 babes, and me.
Does no one else from the cast look after them?
Akira. It was so in the village, where Bataro and me came from. But here, we are all strangers. No one looks in on the sick or cares for the children.
I could look for Bataro.
I could never ask someone to go down to the old city, but Since you offer,
She trails off, working the reeds between her hands while hope and dread battle in her
it is a
eyes.
big and dangerous place. But perhaps he hid himself. Perhaps...
She steadies herself with a shake of her head.
Please, help him if you can. Or bring me news if you cannot.
Do you know the way to Delver's Row? She blinks in horror.
Never. That is the surest way to get the attention of the Overseer.
She lowers her voice.
I hear it is somewhere in the Narrows. It is possible Annoy knows. He has lived here longer than any.
Where is Annoy?
His hut is just along the walkway to the southwest.
Sure thing. Can you take a different ship?
Many ships leave from Queen's Birth, but the Valiants take slaves.
She lowers her voice and glances furtively
They say the
around.
Principe smuggled goods in the caverns below, but I cannot trust such people. But the Rowattians have mighty cannons, and a big homeland they abandoned for ours. Perhaps there is more room for us there.
Okay. Tell me about the
Excuse
Rotoan
sir.
captain. She's, Bia is holding the reed so tightly that she snaps
They
one and
say
two.
she is a traitor, so I thought maybe she will take passengers. But she threw Bataro out.
She looks down at the broken reed in her hands.
Always Bataro was careful with his words, especially as a Raparu. But a Raparu in Nekataka gives offense just by breathing the air of his betters.
All right. Well, that sounds like a rough time of it. Lots of places to look around in this area.
So what happens if you dry out too much?
If it is Ngati's desire that I stay moist, she will hasten the rain.
Huh. That's cool. There's Enway's home. Dallas's home. See who this is. Well, there's nobody in here. Excuse me while I just loot the place. Oh, what was that? Royal Wana clothing. Oh, interesting. Interesting. Okay. So there's passage down. There's Pitley's sanctuary, I guess. I guess it's another place down here I can look around. Wait, Pitley's sanctuary. That's not a different section, is it? Just another place I can talk to people at. Hey, Pitley, what's up? The woman bends over a pile of dried, bitter-smelling herbs. She's crushing and mashing them on a dirty scrap of parchment, coughing with effort. She steps in front of you to block your way, wiping a ragged sleeve across her roomy, bloodshot eyes.
Good God, I nearly didn't recognize you. You look more death-warmed over than Dawnstar.
Didn't see you there, Shody.
Listen. There we go.
Listen, you and your friends should move along.
She turns her head and stifles a croupy
I'm
cough.
not feeling so good, and I'd hate to get you sick.
Are you ill?
Nothing a little ginger root and some bed rest won't cure. Please, let me be.
She takes another step, blocking your view of the room beyond. The herbs on the table give off an odor that scratches at your throat. Is there something I can do to
That's
help?
not...
She erupts in a fit of coughing, and she catches her breath. She gives you a closer look.
Wait, you're the one someone in the other Dawnstar's been talking about.
She lets out a rattling sigh.
In that case, maybe there is. There's some sick Raparu in the back. Not much I can do for them now besides keep them comfortable.
She looks at the crimson speckle on her
And
wrist.
hidden.
In my village, the sick went to the other side of the mountain. Is there nowhere deeper you can flee?
It's better than leaving them to wander the district. I can give them a dignified death.
Why are you hiding sick
Else,
people?
Because they've got Drowner's lung. Spreads like gossip and kills even faster. A gift from the Valians.
She scowls, dabbing the rheum from her eyes.
Fills your lungs with fluid. Gets you coughing all the time, trying to clear them. One of my patients coughed so hard, she broke a rib. Eventually, it gets so bad, you can't hack it out. You just lie there, struggling for breath, until you choke on your own phlegm.
It sounds like she's got it,
I
too.
hear it's a long, hard end.
She trails off for a moment, a distant look in her watering
I
eyes.
heard some Raparu had gotten sick, so I brought them here to care for them. City healers don't come down here.
She frowns and gives her nose a vicious swipe.
Paru have no healers of their own?
Tekehu pulls at one of his long hairs, frowning. She shakes her
These
head.
people are laborers and fishers. Many aren't even Kahanga. Wound up here after raiders and slavers tore their own tribes apart.
She turns back to you.
Anyway, I realized what was wrong when I heard the rattle in their chests. The way they gasped for air.
She wipes the back of her hand on her leg and
The
shudders.
only cure is an elixir made with pine seed oil. It costs a lot, though not nearly as much as an epidemic. Still, if news of this outbreak gets out, these poor souls will get tossed into the old city. No one with any money in Nekataka spends it on
All right.
Pole.
Is there any way to get a cure?
You can get nearly anything on Delver's Road. Only trouble is finding it
Okay.
and paying for it. Unfortunately, the children of the Dawn Stars don't have many connections in this part of town.
She turns away, whooping and hacking into her
But
arm.
I bet you could find someone at the tavern who knows where Delver's Row is.
Yep, already got a lead on that.
Types like to wet their throats after a long day of lying, cheating, and stealing.
She chuckles herself into another coughing fit. What interest did children of the Dawn Star have in the Gullet?
Honest one. The Reparu here are treated like garbage. Even made to eat garbage from that scrap heap opposite the left.
She shakes her head.
And Dario and his Principe scum took advantage of the neglect down here to set up the black market on
Dario?
Delver's Road. He runs most of the criminal mischief that goes on here. Some say he's an old Valian traditionalist. Some say he's a thug with good taste.
She holds her hands out, shifting her open palms like platforms in a
Either
scale.
way, I steer clear of him.
She shivers, whether out of fear of illness, you could not
All
say.
the while, the Gullet gets more crowded as tribes from the other islands come to Nekataka. Some are driven from their homes by pirates, raiders, even trading company thugs.
Her eyes darken.
Others hear stories of the foreign wealth pouring into the city. What they don't realize is most of it flows between the foreigners and the palace.
She makes a circular motion with her finger.
Some days, I think maybe this is why Aethys brought us to Deadfire. So we can do some good. Other days, I'm too damn tired.
She arches her back, popping her spine.
About the only and Dario and his old wife. Some are others hear stories of the foreign wealth pouring. Some other days.
Well, that's enough of that. Let's look back here. We got the various Reparu. Got a lootable container. Yeah. So we need to find cures for them, and maybe for Pitley too. But I think that we're going to continue to look through the Gullet in the next episode. For now, it's been the RPG Crawler with Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire. If you'd like what you've seen, remember to leave a like, comment, got any feedback, and subscribe for more RPG content. Until next time, take care and goodbye. And if you are still watching, I would like to take the opportunity to thank my supporters, the top tiers of which are listed on the screen, without whose support I would not have been able to offer the variety of content that I have on this channel throughout the years. If you're feeling particularly generous and would like to join them, you can support the channel. There are a variety of options to do so. I have a Patreon, a Subscribe Star, as well as channel memberships enabled. If you are not in a position to contribute, simply leaving a like, a comment, or sharing my videos are all wonderful ways to help the channel grow without spending a dime, and are all greatly appreciated.